Hello, everybody. This is Nigel Starbutt's the PR Cavalry, one of the founders with Rod Cartwright of the Independent Impact 50 Awards. And we're interviewing a number, hopefully all of the winners of this year's awards, to ask them a few questions about their freelance practice and how they see the freelance market and the way that the market sees freelancers themselves. Today, we have Bob Hart of Rosebank PR. I'll be asking him the same five questions I've asked all the freelancers, all the winners. But first, I'm going to ask Bob just to tell us a little bit about his background and describe his freelance independent practice now. Bob, welcome. Tell us about
Hi,
your
Nigel. Thanks for
background.
sorry.
Tell us about your background.
Hi, Nigel. Thanks for having me. I'm Bob Hart, and I run Rosebank PR and Communications based up in Lancaster. I started my career as a journalist. I worked in the regional press for 12 years, and then after that, I worked in house in marketing and communications roles in the higher education sector. Um, And then back in 2020, I decided to set up on my own. So that started actually some volunteer work for the NHS during the pandemic. And then branched out into all sorts of different fields, tech, education, agriculture, all sorts of different things that I would never have anticipated.
Okay, so first of the five questions that we're asking all of the winners. What did it mean to you to be included in the inaugural Independent Impact 50 and why?
Well, I mean, I was grateful and pleasantly surprised to have been named as one of the winners. But even the application process just changed the way that I thought about myself and about the business. Really, I think when I first started out, when you talk to people who businesses like mine, there's a lot of there's a there can be a bit of a lack of confidence and a bit of imposter syndrome knocking about amongst people who do this kind of work. And I remember when I started, I'd say to people, "Oh, I'm just a freelancer," and then I thought, "No, I'm not just a freelancer. I'm a freelancer." And then I kind of moved from being a sole trader to setting up a limited company and being on my own. And I find just me. I'm just a one man business. And actually now, as a result of applying for the Independent Impact 50 and being lucky enough to win, it's just changed the way I think and talk about the business. I run an independent communications business, and I'm really proud to do that.
That's fascinating. Thank you. Um, and what behaviors by clients have most surprised you since going independent, be they positive or not so positive?
Um, I think on the positive side, I think I was used to working in house, and as you'll know, the comms function in um, in sort of medium and larger organisations can be taken for granted a little bit, and it can be sidelined a little bit. So to be there independent and actually offering a service that was really valued and for people to really appreciate the impact that you're able to have, that was a pleasant surprise in some ways. The fact that you can just turn up into an organisation, get your bearings, and then really make a difference and really help to drive the success of the organisation. I think that was just a bit of a change of attitude, a change of mindset for me in those early days, I think, and that's something that's continued. Um, on the negative side, I hate to raise the issue of money, but the one thing that has surprised me the most, I'd say, is that small organisations will settle an invoice sometimes within minutes of receiving it, whereas the larger organisations are the ones that you've got to chase and can take weeks or even months to get to receive payment from. So that was kind of the opposite of what I naively expected when I went into this. But I mean, it's a minor issue most of the time.
Okay. Okay. Question three then. Imagine you're having lunch with the CEOs of the CIPR and the PRCA. What's the one thing that you want them to understand about practicing as an independent and about the role and importance of the independent sector overall?
Well, I've been a member of CIPR for many years, and I've really appreciated the access to the resources that organisation provides. Um, I think if I was sitting down with the heads of those organisations, I think I'd just be wanting to make the point that being small and being independent is a strength and not a weakness. People working like I do are often very sort of resourceful. We're very adaptable, um, and we can change things up to meet the needs of our clients. Um, there've been numerous occasions over the years where the phone's gone or I've received an email and it's been somebody who's got a problem that needs solving now, and they just need somebody who has got the skill set to deal with it. They don't want a big onboarding process. They don't want weeks of protracted negotiations. We just need to deal with this issue that we've got. And so the independent sector, I think, is uniquely geared to react and respond to client needs in that way. And I think one of the things that those organisations could do is spell that out a little bit more to our client base. Really, there've been a few occasions over the years where I've missed out on work to big shiny agencies in London or Manchester, and then I've seen the results of that work not be of a standard that I would have been happy to deliver, because they've gone for the big shiny agency rather than the more kind of, I was there, how would you phrase it, the more humble local provider who has actually got more of a personal investment in the success of the project.
Yeah. Okay. So I think you said that you when it started going solo in 2020, the crazy days. So think back to 2020. You meet yourself as you're weighing up whether you should go it alone. What are you going to say to yourself in the mirror?
I'd say just go for it. I mean, I did question at the time whether it was the right thing to do, but I've survived for 5 years, and that's kind of proof in itself. I can, now I've done 5 years, I can do another 5 years. But it's been such a great experience. I've been involved in lots of different projects, lots of different industries I would never have dreamed I'd end up involved in. I'm doing lots of work in agriculture at the moment, learning so much about the dairy farming industry that it was just something that's just completely new to me. But I've been able to just kind of have this window into this whole new world. I was recently invited by a charity to go and photograph their hike in the Lake District, so I got to spend the day in the mountains working, and I just get to do all this different stuff, and it's great.
Okay. And then final question. What words would you use to sum up how you feel about your business in the next 12 months, looking forward?
Two, I suppose. Anticipation and growth. Anticipation in the, I'm thinking about the current projects that are on the books for clients and looking forward to getting stuck into those. Also anticipation because, as I said earlier, you're only one phone call or email away from some interesting challenge or something new that's going to come along. So always excited about what any day could bring. And growth, not necessarily the growth of the business. I'm really happy actually just having a very small business. When I set up, there was a lot of chatter about whether you were trying to scale your business or whether it was just a lifestyle business, all that sort of stuff. I love it just being me. I think it works really well. But growth in terms of the services I can offer, growth in terms of skill set with developments in AI and all the other tech that's knocking around. and just growth in terms of the potential partnerships that are there with other people operating businesses like mine, whether it's whether it is somebody who's a freelance sole trader, or whether it is another little independent limited company like mine. But there's just so many opportunities to sort of work together, grow together, and just do more things. So yeah, looking forward to what the next 12 months brings.
Great. Well, Bob, it's been a pleasure as always talking to you, and thank you for your comments. And we hope to see you maybe at next year's awards. Nothing to stopping you entering again, of course. But hopefully also there'll be a little bit more competition this year. But good luck with the business, and thanks again for your input, and look out for the video.
Great, thanks for having me.